welcome back to my channel. I wanted to get on today and talk about my birth story of my fourth daughter. A little bit about me if you are new to my channel or just want to know a little bit about me. I am a married mom of 5. I have 4 daughters and 1 son, ranging in the age from 10 to 3 weeks. I posted my birth story about my 5th baby, who is my son, yesterday, but that video would be in the description box below. But time for me to moisturize my hair. It's in box braids. So I have my bottle of water aloe vera juice and my bottle of a variety of oils. My hair is natural. It is about 3 inches from tailbone length. This has hair added to it, but this hair comes down to my butt, whereas my natural hair is about probably here. I'm sorry, somewhere within here. But yeah, it's time for me to moisturize my scalp. I love this little spray bottle. I love this little bottle. I'll put a link to this in the description box as well. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my birth story with my 4th daughter. So she is currently 3 years old, very advanced to be 3. But I decided that I would have a natural delivery with her when I found out I was pregnant with her. So during that pregnancy, I prepared my body. I started asking friends and family and put posts on Facebook and everywhere else and just researched what I needed to do for a natural delivery, natural, no medication birth. I got a lot of helpful things back. I had a couple people in my family tell me that I was crazy and medicine has been invented. Why wouldn't you want to use it? And use the medicine. But that's not what I wanted. Because I had a bad experience with epidural with my third baby. So, and that birth story will be coming soon. But I didn't want to use it. I'm gonna spray my oil. So I started to stock up on my red raspberry leaf tea, and I would drink probably a cup a day in the first trimester, 2 cups a day in the second trimester, and roughly 3 to 4 cups a day in the third trimester. I did not do perineal massage. There's actually no scientific proof that that helps reduce tearing or anything like that. But I did bounce on my bouncing ball, my birth ball. I have a video of how I turned my breech baby. My 4th baby was the baby that I had to get a version done. So like I said, I prepared my body throughout that that time, drinking my tea and bouncing on my ball and eating things that would help with my natural delivery. So fast forward to 37 weeks, I found out that my baby is still breech, and I had to get a ECV, an external civic version. I think that's what it's called. For short, most medical personnel just call it a version. But I had to get that done. That was a very painful and traumatic experience. I didn't have any pain medication. I wasn't having a version done without medication was worse than having a baby without medication. I would rather have 4 more babies without medication as opposed to having a version done without medication. Just simple as that. Um, but I will post the video to my version story below. Um, so I got the version done, and she did stay in place. She had to be held in place with an abdominal binder, and I just bounced on my ball. Um, and she stayed head down until for the duration of the pregnancy, and I delivered her at 39 weeks and how far? I was 39 weeks and 4 days with her. Um, so during that time I was working as an anesthesia technician. I will do a video on that job, what I used to do. That was quite extensive at a #1 trauma unit hospital. But yeah, scalp looks a little bit better. It's moisturized. But I was 39 weeks and 3 or 4 days with her. I was scheduled to go to work that morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I had started having some light contractions like around 11 o'clock that night. So I got my paper out and I started to time them. I wasn't really thinking about doing a contraction timer. I don't really think you really have, like, you can really remember to click the button on a contraction timer. It's easier to get a contraction and, write the time or tell somebody, shout out a time if someone's with you and they write it down, as opposed to remembering to hit the button when you get a contraction and hit the button when your contraction is over. But I just kept record of my contractions. I have a really high pain tolerance, so the contractions didn't bother me to where I wouldn't be able to focus to write a number down or tell someone a number. So I took my shower. I started to get my girls' clothes together, my older 3 girls together. I had already had bags and stuff packed and ready to go. All I planned on doing that morning was just getting myself dressed because I took a shower probably around 12 o'clock that night because I kind of had a feeling that something was going to be starting. So my plan for that morning was to just get my snack bag together, my little foods and stuff to nibble on, my drinks and stuff to keep me hydrated. So 5 o'clock rolled around. I'm sorry, 4 o'clock rolled around, and I decided to call out of work. My contractions started to get a little stronger. 6 o'clock hit. I was supposed to be at work, but contractions were a little bit more intense. I told my midwife, well, I had to call her on the on-call number, the emergency line pretty much, and let her know that I was starting to have contractions, and I told her I was going to stay at home as long as possible until I couldn't really tolerate them anymore. And I did pretty good staying at home. I stayed at home for an additional 3 or 4 hours after initially calling the midwife. And I was delivering the baby at the hospital that I worked at. And so we parked in the employee deck because my husband and I both work at that hospital. And the deck was probably like a good 2 or 3 blocks from the actual hospital. And I did my walking movement. For me, is wonderful when I have pain. If I'm confined to the bed, it's not comfortable for me. I will get right nasty if I'm uncomfortable. That goes for anybody who's feeling pain and can't alleviate that pain by themselves or have no way of trying to make that pain better. But I walked with my husband from the parking deck to the hospital. When we got in the hospital, because it's a place where both of us work, people would stop and talk to us, not realizing that I was in labor, because as long as I was able to move, no one can tell that I was having full contractions that were about 5 minutes apart. But we took the wrong elevator, for one. We took the wrong elevator. We assumed that one elevator would go up to labor and delivery. We ended up having to get off of that elevator, walk around to main elevators, and going up to the labor and delivery labor and delivery floor. Excuse me. We got up there, were checked in. My mom met us at the hospital probably 20 minutes after we got there. The nurse asked if she can get an IV started. I did not want an IV, but being medical personnel, I always know that there's possibly something that can go wrong, and I just wanted to have things in place in case things did. The nurse told me that she could not see. If you're trying to take blood from someone, you don't tell them you can't see. But the crazy lady told me she could not see. So I'm not going to let you shove a needle in my arm and you can't see what the hell you're doing. Doesn't make sense. But my mom is a phlebotomist and has been so for over 20 years. So my mom got my IV started and got that initial blood draw that was needed. So like I said, my mom put my IV in, piece of cake. And I turned on my music and I started to dance. Like when I say dance, when they tell you the same way you got them in, the same way you can get them out, I danced, honey. I was squatting down, I was bringing it back up, I was twerking, I was everything you could think of, I was dancing. I actually have a video of that labor and delivery, but it's very, very graphic. I'm a modest person. I don't like to show off my body. I don't like to put my body out there. So I'm not gonna do that. I'll probably post it if I could blur it out. My baby woke up. Sorry, had to get him latched on. Um, but yeah, I danced and danced and danced and danced and danced. The nurse came in. They wanted to get a reading on the baby. What I did was intermittent monitoring. I know, man. So I laid on the bed on my left side, and they put the monitors on me, and I had been in the bed maybe 3 minutes, if that. It wasn't long at all, and my water burst in the bed. It just burst. Then they brought in all the tables and all the extra stuff that, they have in there for emergencies, but they don't really use. They kept the table covered with sterile covering. And I just pretty much tried to find a comfortable position to deliver the baby. Now, like I said before, this was a medication-free natural delivery. So this was a natural delivery. Let's see, I kneeled like in a squatting position beside the bed, like holding onto the bed. I tried standing and like squatting down to push. Neither one of those were comfortable. I got in the bed and they gave me a birth bar. I think that's what it's called. It's like this little bar, like a monkey bar kind of thing that they put onto the bed, and you pull yourself up. Sorry, you pull yourself up to when you push to get the baby out, and that intensified contractions. Didn't like that at all. So what I did was the head of the bed was lifted to probably a 45-degree angle. I put one foot in one arm railing. I put the other foot in the other arm railing. So I kind of climbed up the bed and squat, like pushed her out. 3 pushes, she came out. No tears, so no stitches was needed. No nothing. No episiotomy. No nothing. And she actually was 6 pounds and 14 ounces, which was she was probably about 12 ounces more than my second baby, who tore me and I had to get stitches with. And she was completely bigger than my third baby, who tore me and I couldn't get any stitches. And both of those were epidural babies. So no tears with my natural babies at all. So after I delivered her, I did skin to skin for about 45 minutes, and I was up, moving around, taking a shower. Yes, I got up 45 minutes after having a baby, after doing skin to skin, and I took a full shower. Yeah, I took a shower. I wasn't able to do that with any of my other births or delivery. But it's nice to be able to wash after being on the floor and delivering a baby and placenta and fluid and everything else. It was just nice to take a shower, just have a moment to take a shower, get clean, get fresh. But that's my birth story of my 4th baby. I will put the story of my 5th baby in the description box below. I will also add the my ECV story below, and items that I found useful for postpartum and breastfeeding, because I breastfed all 5 of my children. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can know when I post my next video. Also, please come back to see another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.